It was a below-average day on the island of Sodor. Thomas was waiting patiently at his shed when he was told that he would need to go and see the Fat Controller at once. The Fat Controller was waiting at the station. Thomas, I have a very special job for you. I need you to take me to McDonald's at once. And off they went. Meanwhile, Percy was pulling a troublesome truck up the hill. But then there was trouble. He suddenly lost control on his way down and crashed right into Thomas. Luckily, no one was hurt, which means the Fat Controller would yet again avoid a lawsuit. Well, hello there. So I do apologise for that ghastly intro, but welcome to another episode of Thomas Talks. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I'm on this specific set, and I am finally going to make it. So here is the Bluebird miniature Thomas and Friends set. This train set was made by the Bluebird Toy Company and was produced sometime in the mid to late 1990s. It's a reminder as to when Thomas and Friends merchandise was still really good, and it's a shame that we don't see things like this made today. In terms of characters, we get Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle, Percy in a troublesome truck, and Bertie the bus. There should also be a balustrade and some cargo pieces, but my set is missing them. So now I'm going to compare these little guys to some items from my collection, the idea being show you how they might scale to items in your collection, so I'm going to cover a few different merchandise lines. Bluebird miniatures make the Tomy wind-up characters look absolutely huge compared to them, and if you've handled one of these you will know that they are pretty small. Here he is compared to a take-along, now an Ertl, wooden railway, Tomy Trackmaster, a golden bear Thomas. Oh, and here he is next to the big Tomy Thomas, probably the largest model of Thomas the Tank Engine in my collection. They certainly make quite an interesting lineup. I think the Bluebird Thomas might actually be smaller than the Minis one. However, I couldn't find a mini of Thomas on hand, so I'm deeply sorry that I couldn't make that comparison. But yeah, they can go and see the size difference between some of the merchandise lines. There is a 3-road engine shed, which is a bit strange considering the fact that we only get 2 engines. And the shed itself is actually completely removable from the layout. The 2 engines have metal rollers in them that allow them to run quite nicely on this train set. The rolling stock characters only have a single metal roller, which renders them a bit top-heavy, and on some of the tighter curves on the set, they tend to want to jump the rails a bit. You can see Annie there is nearly about to come off the rails. It's not always a problem, but it does happen enough for me to notice it, and to the point where I would consider it a major problem to bring up in this review. There are several sidings on this layout, which is quite nice. However, something I noticed is that some of them aren't actually long enough to hold an engine, which is a bit strange to me. There's no way to expand this set, so I'm not sure why, although I do suppose that they would be quite good for setting up crashes. The buffers themselves are actually quite easily removed, so I do suppose that if you remove the ones by the docks, then you could recreate the crash from Percy Takes the Plunge. While I do have some complaints about this set, I still think it is a very charming example of Thomas and Friends merchandise from the classic era. and I do think if you can find this set for a reasonable price, you should pick it up. Well, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Ta-ta!